we'll go with that, even though lighting sucks. If any of you can recognize dashboards pretty well, you'll probably recognize at least the make that I'm in right now. This is what I spent last week going to find. For right now, I've got a loop around Fort Leonard Wood that I found on Onyx Off-Road that I'm gonna go and tootle around and just kind of break this in, kind of see. It shouldn't be anything too crazy. I think the hardest thing on here is a blue rated at 4 out of 10, but I don't have self-recovery equipment. I don't have anybody with me. I don't even really have anybody I can call if I get stuck. So we're just gonna go, we're gonna take it easy. We're gonna take it pretty nice and safe. And we're gonna see what we can see. Maybe we'll find some mud, maybe we'll find some rocks. It's probably gonna be a lot of dirt road, but there's some interesting Forest Service roads and stuff along the way. So we're gonna stop, we're gonna look at some of that. Hopefully my camera could stay upright for parts of it. Let's go ahead, let's get on the road and get off this guy's property before he shows up and gets angry at me, but let's go. So yeah, I bought a Jeep Gladiator. Kind of a surprise to me, might be a surprise to y'all. Who am I kidding? It's YouTube and overlanding and everything like that. It's gonna be a Gladiator, right? My wife and I actually test drove a Colorado, a ZR2, that we really liked. We actually liked it better than this, but her and I both just had a really bad gut feeling about it. And I don't know, this was just too good of a deal to pass up. But there's a couple things that I do really like about it over the Colorado. The Colorado was, don't get me wrong, overall nicer to drive. It was smoother. It felt more responsive. It felt like I didn't have to fight it quite as much at highway speeds. But there's a couple things about the Jeep, like I said, that we really like. First off, there's no denying the off-road capability of a Jeep. There just isn't. The solid axle, I've already had it crossed up today, and this is, as far as I can tell, a mechanically stock Jeep. It's not lifted, as far as I can tell. There's a chance that it is. It is on 35s. The 35s don't seem to be revving. From everything I've read on the internet, that's kind of not doable on stock suspension, so there's a chance it's lifted. The only thing I can 100% absolute verify that is aftermarket is the wheels and tires. It's on 35 on aftermarket wheels, and it is able to do stuff that, at least in most of the other leveled full-size trucks on 33s I've ever driven, would have been not undoable, but it would have been a lot more of a challenge. On that note, IFS is just so much more expensive to modify. Now, I wish I was in a position to make my own parts and engineer my own stuff, because that stuff is really cool to me, and I really enjoy the science and the physics behind it all. I don't have that kind of space, I don't have that kind of time, and I certainly don't have the equipment. So cost of modification is a big deal to me. And then along those lines, there's just more options for storage inside the cab of the Jeep. I know that sounds like a small thing, but when we're looking at putting me, my wife, 3 kids, and depending on how we have it set up, maybe even a dog, having a spot to put all our stuff is really important. There's options to pretty much put things anywhere, and we really like that about the Jeep. So moving forward, I think we're going to be really happy with this. I'm certainly happy with it so far. My wife might beg to differ later on, but as of right now, this is going great. Let's get back to driving. So why did I get a Gladiator then instead of a Wrangler? if I'm already looking at the Jeep ecosystem. I think, well, for one thing, just having a pickup bed's super nice, especially if I can't end up getting my Avalanche running. I need something to be able to haul a dirt bike around or move furniture or whatever. It's just super helpful to have a pickup bed. If you don't think so, buy a pickup and then see how many people ask you to move things for them. But one of the other things, and I don't think this gets talked about as much as it should, but the longer wheelbase is a little bit more stable at speed. And that can mean on the freeway, that can mean on gravel roads, it doesn't matter. It's a little bit more stable, a little bit harder to get bumped off its line. To me, overlanding is more about being able to cover ground efficiently and effectively, not necessarily like bombing down the desert roads as fast as possible. It is the ability to move quickly over land that is overlanding to me. Anything else is just a rock crawler and camping, which is fine, but I rarely travel short distances and I want to be able to travel those distances quickly. So to put things in perspective, should I had bought a top of the line Jeep, you know, a higher level mechanically, Rubicon or the Mojave, I'm a much more of a Mojave guy than a Rubicon guy. The idea of better tuned suspension for a little bit higher speed travel appeals to me, and eventually that's kind of what this is going to get built out to be. I've got big plans for it. We'll have to see how that all goes. Everybody always has big plans for the Jeeps when they buy one. I don't know very many people that are like, oh, I'm going to keep my Jeep stock. It's perfect the way it is. They exist. I don't know too many of them. All right, so there's a little bit of an update. Unfortunately, the road that I was going to take to cut across to the other trail is closed. It's marked as public, but it cuts through private land. Just goes to show that Onyx can be wrong sometimes. Either way, I can't get to where I was going without going all the way around. So it is 3:15. I did end up taking one little side trail and ended up finding a pretty nice water crossing, and it looks pretty good. I hope it turned out on camera. I haven't checked, admittedly. I probably should have before I drove away. But I think what we're going to do right now is we're only 20 minutes away from St. Robert, but I think we just call it a day. It's 3:15. By the time I actually got over there, it would be getting dark. I wouldn't have time to enjoy anything. Once again, I don't even have lights on the vehicle. I don't have any way to get stuck if something would happen. I don't want to play that game in the dark. So we're going to call it good for the day. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.